happy to be here with you guys. So please let me know if you guys have any questions. I could discuss it with you. Just, try to keep it short for everybody. Hi, Queen. Hi, everyone. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Oh, is that it? Oh yeah, I'm so glad. I'm always trying my best. I love to play XBX, and I think some of the members were asking me why I decided to play XBX compared to SPY. So it's I always use this comparison between AMD and NVIDIA. So the movement compared to NVIDIA moves more, because of just how like I guess you could say how expensive it is. But the rate of change, the rate of return for XBX is similar when you trade NVIDIA. When it moves drastically. But if you're able to catch it on the right momentum, you could gain 60, like 20, 60, 100% within a couple of minutes compared to how SPY, you get like $30, $40. And also for XBX, don't quote me on this. You kind of have to talk to your CPA. You guys get a tax break on trading XBX as well. So that's the reason why I always tell people for XBX, better to have switch to a broker that allows XBX and make sure it's a cash account. Regarding my one-on-one, I'm still recovering from COVID. So I have to see if I can make time between my day job, which I work in healthcare, as well as trying to give my commentary throughout the day or all of the week, just to put you guys on the right track of what I'm saying, what I'm seeing. So I'm trying my best, but I'll definitely let Jourdan know if I have one-on-ones available. So they'll be made available to everyone. Let me know if you guys have any more questions. I'm kind of flipping back and forth between the chat.
So
Just trying.
I'll ask a question that I know somebody is thinking. How are you managing to work a day job and then still show up and go as crazy as you do with the trading?
I get to work at home for now because of COVID. So I do a lot of the administration job on the intake. If you're not knowledgeable regarding the healthcare, intake is mostly when people that come in, and I work with a lot of people that struggle with addiction, such as substance abuse. We have alcoholics, heroin addicts, as well as mental health patients, people that struggle with depression, anxiety. So that's the reason why it makes it hard for me to really go on Zoom during normal live trading, because I do work with a lot of patients and sometimes I am on the phone with them. So there is that line that I cannot cross because of patient confidentiality, But how I trade is that if I'm not on the phone, I'm always able to try to give you guys what I'm seeing. Just like how last Friday, we were able to nail that bottom because we saw, I said ES, which is XPX futures, and XPX were making higher lows, as well as a pin bar was formed on the 10-minute with some decent volume. And lo and behold, we moved up afterwards, as well as using market internals, such as tick and add. So that's something, if you want to become a good XBX trader, is watching those internals, as well as seeing these type of price actions, such as lower highs or higher lows or different patterns on the 10-minute, because you're able to see or like forecast, hey, this might not break or move lower because they're making higher lows with decent volume. So these are some of the things that you guys have to try to recognize in price action. And I know sometimes YouTube doesn't help. So it's usually by experience. The more you see it, the more you're able to recognize it quicker. So for those beginners that are just starting, start out with the basic patterns such as wedges, flags. Those are the most that you see a lot that you could try to predict the move. So the more you see it, memorize it, you're able to see it on any time frame. Any more questions?
That's what's up. Appreciate that. I saw you put that tick and add video in the group.
Mm-hmm. That's what I used to learn. I know for tick, sorry, tick gets a little bit too crazy like the way that it moves. So I always stick with ad because I'm used to learning watching candlesticks. So switching ad to candlesticks, you're able to see how strong the buy or how weak the sell is, or vice versa. So you're able to correlate it to how SPY or ES is trading. Yeah, I'll definitely post the link again. I'm on my phone, so I have to get it after for you guys.
Yeah, fill up the chat with questions, y'all. What else y'all want to know? I know it's somebody else over there like, yeah, Jourdan, can she do a class on how to use it? Because that YouTube video is cool. I don't know about that.
Well, regarding just if you pull, I usually have it on the 5 minute, and XPX I have it on different time frames. So the 5 minute on ad, it'll also tell me exactly what's happening under the hood on XPX. What I like to use with ad is seeing divergences. So usually ad will follow XPX. But when you see a divergence, let's say if XPX is consolidating, like it's choppy, but you're seeing market internals is either buying or selling, it's a divergence. When you see that divergence, you know either SPY has to follow it or ad has to follow SPY. And most of the time, if you're seeing that XPX is consolidating and the market internals is selling off, you know that there's a high chance grabbing that put is going to pay off, because usually SPY will follow the market internal. Vice versa, if SPY or XPX is consolidating and you're seeing the market internals buying, there's a high chance that consolidation is going to break to the upside. So seeing divergences between the indexes and market internals will give you just a leg up into what direction it's moving. Because how market internals such as ad is used is these big whales are buying in groups. So when they're buying in groups, you're able to see, or let's say selling in groups, vice versa, you're able to tell these big whales are literally selling or buying a position, and the retail traders don't know yet. It's consolidating. So that's how I use ad with SPY. Tick I don't use because tick moves crazy. Like for tick, it has to be above the zero or above positive for 3 or 4 candles. But sometimes it's just too volatile for me. That's why I only just stick with ad. But some people use both of those in conjunction with index trading. It just depends on your preference and if you're able to watch 3 things at the same time. For market internals, it's just ad is like, it's advanced decline line, and tick is something else. So that's why. Oh, did my thing switch? Okay. So it will be in that video when I send it out to you guys. So just let me know. But definitely, if you want to trade market internals, trade indexes, market internals would greatly help you, as long as you're able to recognize divergences in there. You're able to get the leg up on potential reversals. Any other questions?
Yeah, you have some more questions. If you scroll up a little bit.
For taxes, you have to talk to your CPA. I don't know the nitty-gritty details, but trading XBX will definitely help you on your taxes. It's some type of how should I say, it's taxed differently. XBX is taxed differently compared to trading SPY. But you could Google it, or you could talk to your CPA on it, or whoever does your taxes. Yeah. So I think someone else had a question. Well, let me see. Okay, so yeah, working how it's very little or at the facility, it's hard to trade on the phone. So the trick with working in more like hospital outpatient is definitely during lunch. A lot of my friends that do work at the hospital right now, they are basically either trading on their lunch, or they make it that they have early shift. And usually early shift, or I think the early shift is around like 3 or 5 before the market opens. So you're able to trade that market open, then you go to work and then trade during lunch, which is almost near the end of the day. So that's how a lot of my friends who do trade, position their early in the morning. So they're able to trade the morning volatility and then at the end. So that's why. But they're mostly they're quick day traders. So they're looking at like the quick 5 minute, 1 minute wedge break, flag break, something like that. So that's some of the tricks is just changing your shift time to the earlier one. Let me see. Do you use net or option flow? Oh, yes, for Dennis. I do. Sorry. I do use a flow. I use Tradilytics. Tradilytics. I use a lot on just watching flow. Like their net premium flow actually helps a lot. Just if you're trading, you're able to hear like, hey, the net flow changed from bearish to bullish, and you're able to pull up the chart if you're trading XBX. So that one helped me a lot, as well as watching the flow for like earnings. You're able to see that. Let me see whether. How do you and outside SMH as between now and December? That one, Matthew, I have to pull the chart. I'm on my phone, so I'll look at it later on tonight when I do my watch list. But usually SMH, I believe, is an ETF for semiconductors. So I have to see, because the biggest one is the vote on the chip bill that I think is moving to the Senate this week. So I'll look at it for you. Prince, oh, thank you for, yeah, we killed it on XBX for sure. Which is provided. Okay, Tradilytics. My style of charting is basically find support and resistance on the daily time frame. And when you do day trading, I look at futures like ES, futures high and low, as well as pre-market high and low for ES. So I use those levels at night, like I guess you can see the morning, just to see, like, because SPX follows ES. So knowing the highs and lows on ES, you're able to pinpoint short-term resistance and support levels. So that's how I usually trade, and always, watch volume, because more volumes at certain key level breaks, volume will determine if it is a break or it could be a false break. So watching volume at those levels will tell you if you could go puts or you can go calls, depending on the volume as well. How do you develop watch lists? Oh, I do watch lists on a nightly basis. So I use the daily, but sometimes I look at weekly, because if you're seeing a big consolidation, more than likely you're going to see a weekly inside day candles. And usually traders that trade inside day, you look at the high and low breaks. And usually when one of those breaks, the second candle or third candle would move higher or lower, depending which is the breaks. So that's how you usually trade inside day patterns. How large is your trade size for a single trade? So it really depends on how many I get filled and the price of the contract. So usually if it's too expensive, I try to keep it within like 4 or 5, but usually 8 to 12 for normal trade. Usually it's within 2K, 3K, because I usually try to keep it within 300 or less. Sometime like last Friday, I actually did I think I did 8. I have to look back. I think I bought like 8 on like the $700 contract, because I was planning to swing it into FMOC, but seeing how everything played out, I closed it. So I just kept cash, just because I don't trust the weekend. Where can I find the video? I'll send a video for you guys on the ad when I get off the phone. Would you be able to share ES chart? For ES, I actually use the levels from Adam Minichi. He posts free on his Twitter. So he'll tell you like certain levels that he has, and he's a great ES trader. So I use his levels and compare it to my SPY level, SPX levels. So if you're able to do that, like that's how I usually trade. You could apply the same tactics for SPY, but sometimes SPY levels are a little bit different. I know, like, let's say 3,800 on XBX is 380 on SPY, but sometimes in the middle it gets like 0.5 certain levels that I have. Well, I tried to trade SPY before and it just didn't work for me, honestly. So It's Adam Manichi. If you pull it up, it's ADAMMANICHI. Just pull it up. He's very famous on Twitter. Yeah, that's the guy, the one that Anthony gave. So he posts his ES levels. So I use his ES levels and compare it to my XBX levels. But you also have to look back pre-market, the highs and lows of futures, because those will also help you on pinpointing the support and resistance. So yeah. Let me know if there's any other questions. Oh, let's see the chat.
So it looks like
how about training only XP? How I trade? Like, I try not to do 0 to hero, honestly, because
oh,
0 to hero, it really depends on finding the momentum. For XBX is just it's a learning curve, because XBX do trade volatile. I think the beginning yesterday, not yesterday, on Friday, I played in the morning for calls. It was choppy, and then the premiums were so jumpy. So you just have to be careful just on nailing the momentum. That's the reason why I always encourage watching the market internals, because sometimes it will give you a leg up, or watching ES, which is futures. So take profit off intraday levels, or I try to be good at taking it at my levels, but sometimes when the money is so good, like, hey, 10%, like small percentage add up. Like, I try not to hit like a home run. I always try to take percentage, whichever I like 10%, 30%, 40%, because in the end, you're not always going to try to catch, you're not always going to be able to sell at the top and buy at the bottom. So taking profits at increments will actually help you, because let's say if the trade reverses and it goes red, you took profits on like 2 or 3 contracts, it could, so it for your trades. So try not to always, and then if you so what are patterns? So you want to do flag pattern, wedges. So you have to be careful with wedges, because wedges, either way it breaks, it could be calls or puts. So definitely flags are the most popular one. Flags and wedges, ascending triangles, descending triangles, stuff like that. So market internals, I mostly use AD, which is advanced decline line. And usually when you pull it up, it's like a line. You could switch it to candlesticks, and learning how to read candlestick patterns, it follows the same thing. Like, the bigger the candle, the big body candles, you're able to tell how strong or how weak it is. Yeah, for trading ticks, I use it a lot. Just because I switched from black box, because I felt like black box was a little bit more expensive and didn't really help me. So I switched to Tradilytics, which is like $50. Tradilytics, $50 a month. So it actually has a lot more data, but it's not much user friendly because there's a lot of data. So you kind of have to filter through it. But their net premium market actually helps a lot for index, because sometimes they'll tell you if the premiums go negative, so it's bearish, goes positive, bullish. So it kind of helps you confirm your initial assessment of the market. Like, you're saying, hey, I think the market's gonna move higher because market in terms is buying. And then you hear Tradilytics saying, hey, the premium went bullish. You're like, oh, sweet. I nailed the move before, their algo tells you. So that's something that I use a lot. If I buy a cheap XBX contract and I don't care, go to 0, can I hold it for a long time? You can, but you have to make sure you have to check decay, because if it's a 0 day, if it expires the same day, you have to worry about decay, because once it hits 11 a.m., the decay starts really eating into the contract until, unless there's some movement. If it's choppy, you're more than likely the premium's going to be eaten up, and it's to be okay for lose zero if not. So this is why I always try to buy time, but sometimes long term on XPX it is pretty expensive unless you go far out of the money. So that's why it's a little bit harder. Yeah, just let me know if you have any more questions. Do you have a target number of trades? I try to do once a day, but there are some days where I know it's best not to trade. I think on the 25th, I didn't trade just because the market was just terrible. It was like choppy, mostly in a range. So remember, you don't have to trade every day. Waiting for the best setup, you're definitely gonna basically better set up. You're able to right momentum and gain money. It's no point in forcing a trade if it's choppy. You're just gonna get whiplashed. So that's something that I want you guys to recognize. When it's choppy, just stay out. There's always another opportunity. Oh yeah, if you do Forex, but I'm not too familiar on Forex. Not the best one to answer that question.
Oh no, he wasn't even. That's another one of our team members.
Oh.
He's just he's just talking about the differences in having to deal with time decay versus not. But I just let Quinn unmute. Quinn was one of the people who was like really adamant about getting you on a Zoom. So
oh really?
Go
Okay.
ahead and take the floor, bro.
For sure. So I just want to give you some flowers, and I want to apologize because I think I called you a guy my first trade I took with you. And I was like, hey, I don't know who this Kiva is, man, but he's fire, yada, yada, yada. So I basically trade with 3 traders now. It was Pastor and Jourdan before. Mm-hmm. Now, I've definitely added you to that list. And in the past week and a half, I've taken 11 trades with you. I've won 9 of them. So that's 81% for about $1,500.
I am so happy.
So I just wanted to say I'm appreciative. Keep it going. I'm gonna, like I said, learn as much from you guys as possible. So I know it was myself and Dennis. We really wanted to get you on because we just wanted to show you some love. Because again, and for anyone else, man, like don't be afraid to just take the plays from the moderators. Like you don't have to be a hero. Like I tried for a few weeks to do everything on my own, take plays, and ended up losing some money on most of those trades. But the reason why we're in this group is to learn from these guys. So guys and girls. So listen, man, I just want to show you your flowers. And if any folks are here listening, trust me, take a couple of our plays, and I don't think you're gonna regret it. So keep it going. We appreciate you and keep it going. Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Thank you, Quinn.
Don't blow your account. Don't trade by yourself. Don't blow your account. Use the moderators for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Quinn. I just let Dennis unmute.
Yeah. I just want to say the same thing. Piggyback on Quinn. It was me and him was trying to get you on, and a couple other members as well was trying to get you on the the live or the voice, just to hear your voice, because like ever since you joined the team, you've definitely been killing it. So yeah, we definitely wanted to give you your flowers. I was telling Jourdan if we had to take a trip out, I think you're out Cali, right?
Yeah, I'm in Cali. It's pretty hot right now.
Hey, I mean, yeah, same here. So I was like, if we have to take a trip out Cali, then, just let me know. But we definitely want to get it done. But yeah, you've definitely been amazing. Ever since you joined the team, trading XPX, honestly, I've never traded it since before you. I've heard people trade it, and they, you hear the stories, SPX will blow your account and this and that, and you don't watch it. But trading XPX with you has definitely been financially rewarding. And you've just been amazing. We definitely appreciate you coming to the team with all the knowledge you bring, the watch list, and then also trading with a 9-to-5, because I work as well. So we definitely understand the struggle and the time it takes, but we definitely just want to appreciate your dedication to your craft and the experience you bring to the team. I mean, you have made a lot of us definitely financially more profitable as traders, and gave us more experience. So we definitely appreciate that.
You are all very welcome. I'm thankful you guys just follow me and able to learn something from me, because it took a while for me. Just answer, I think, one of the Zoom questions. Been trading for 5 years. The first 2 years, I was in your shoes, guys. I was stuck. I was blowing my account. Like it was just bad, you know. And then after I started to be like, hey, you know, like why do some traders trade like that, or why do they want to trade? Why did they enter this trade? And that's when like I started, you know, not putting in real money and just trying to understand how these traders trade. And that's when I started working on technical analysis, watching patterns. And pretty much that's how I became profitable. I stopped chasing the clout, which is these 200% these earnings, and just being happy with just 10%, 20% on a trade. Because in the end, those small trades, those small profits will add up. And all you need to do is size up once you're able to recognize great setups like flag breaks, wedges, using market internals. So I always tell people, like, if you're happy with 10%, 20%, take it, you know? And once you're able to afford more contracts, you can afford more risk, meaning you can let it run. That's how some people call it, runners, to be able to get those 60, 100, 200%. You know? 10 to 15% is a lot, you know, like adding a couple $100 a day. Like for me, I used to be so happy just gaining 20 bucks, 50 bucks, because that's like Starbucks and some breakfast. But in the end, you know, like just try to think humble, you know, be humble, be happy 10, 15. And once you're able to nail a lot of the setups that you see on a daily basis, you could hit those 200, 300%, you know? And also for earnings, always play with profits. Do not play with money that you can't lose, or it can't go to zero. That's my suggestions to everyone. Are there funding companies for stock shares similar to Forex? Sorry, I'm actually not too sure. I think that's something Jourdan will need to answer.
Yeah, there are. There's not that many of them for what I know. I'm gonna text this guy who I think used to work with one. So DM me on Discord, and I can try to follow up with you on that one.
No. Well, I have to head out really quick. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to DM me. To answer Ange, XPX, it depends on your trader. I know Robinhood does not. So Webull, TD Ameritrade, Tastyworks, and all that stuff. All right. You guys have a great day. I gotta head out, okay?
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
Look forward to next week.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thanks, Eva.
No problem.
Let's go.
Oh,
Yeah, man.
just came from that 100-degree heat, bro. Oh my God.
Oh, I should tell her pull up to Vegas, bro.
Oh yeah, man.
I'm about to hit her up. All right, we still
Hope
recording.
everybody definitely staying cool, man. It's a brutal one out there today.
Somebody asked, how do I find my moderators? Man, you know how Thanos went on the quest to find them stones, bro? That's how I found the moderators. You know, I set out, and anybody that gets in the way, I destroy them. You know what I'm saying? No, on a serious note, if we run through just to bring it, so Zay was with me for a while. Zay's been in the chat for a minute. Zay got moved up. He said, "Don't click my fingers." Zay got moved up from being a member to being a person who was on the trial period, like you might have saw with the other people like Jay and Nate, Quiet Money. A lot of y'all witnessed their trial period. Zay was a member, was calling some trades and members' ideas. He was winning them. Members was like, "Yo, this guy's good," you know. I was like, "Okay, let me keep an eye on him." And then eventually he just worked his way up. Similar thing with Avery. Avery was a member. She was calling trades and members' ideas. Saw it, recognized it, talked to her. She came on the team. Pastor actually reached out to me there was a member who reached out to him because he, you seen Pastor having his bot, because Pastor's in a bunch of different groups, but he signals and runs lives to every group. But as you saw yesterday in the announcement, he's going to be just with us now. So that was somebody who reached out to him, told him to hit me up because I said I was looking for someone who wanted to live trade. So pretty much it's been people who were members and then, brought this, they were doing the stuff before it was their job, right? Same thing with Lauren being on support, same thing with they were already helping out. And I was like, well, let me give you a position to do what you're doing. Let me pay you for what you're doing. You helping out. Same thing with Moody came in, he was doing this and that. We started talking. Moody introduced me to D-Wiz. So yeah, the most of them have been members who got elevated up because they were putting in the work, showing their value in the group before there was the role. And so I gave them that position. The others were people who were in the group, and I said, hey, if you want to be on the team or have like 3 more spots, fill out this form. We did interviews. They go through a trial period. And then after the trial period, they have certain metrics they have to meet to actually be able to come on the team. But most of it comes from y'all. Like the What's Next channel, the chat suggestions channel. When I put them polls out and I'm like, what do y'all want? Do y'all want a day trader, a futures trader, a Forex trader? What do y'all want? And then I just go find what y'all want. So I'll go on Instagram, who trades this? DM me, let's talk. Who wants to work in the Discord? DM me, let's talk. So that's how I find them. It's everywhere. So, yeah, bro. Right now,
I like to say I found Jourdan. Jourdan didn't find me.
That's true. Moody was.
I found the GOAT. I was searching for the plug, and I was like, "There you go. Is that the plug right there?" Did a little more research. I was like, "Hey, bro, you giving me plug vibes."
Man, Moody was sitting in the chat. So I actually met Moody.
Oh boy.
I was doing an interview or something with another group that he was in. Moody had already been sitting in our chat for like 3 weeks, scoping me out, scoping the chat out. I said, hold on, you been in here? But that was really it though. I didn't, if y'all had other questions, we can knock them out real quick. This was really just to be, that Zoom, because y'all said y'all wanted EVA. So I'm not gonna run a Zoom class right now. Do we have another class today? We had Zay and Avery earlier. What else we got today? Now that I'm looking at it, we ain't got another class today. I mean,
unless somebody know about a pool party that I don't know about. Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Do I trade SPX? I've been trading SPY, QQQ. So I just started trading SPX last week. Last week I traded SPX, and what she was saying is the same thing I experienced. A lot of my trades, and that's why I wasn't calling stuff out last week, because I was trading on the 1 minute with SPX, and I was literally in and out within like 2-3 minutes. So I've been doing it. I like it. For me, being somebody who calls out trades in a Discord, it's a little different to be able to signal them. But like I'm looking at my trade history right now, and I got in an SPX option at 354. Nope, sorry, 353. Got out at 354. 308 or 304 to 308, 243 to 244. Like it's quick. And you can get, like she was saying, this is what Quinn was saying.
It moves fast.
It moves fast, and you can grab like 10% real quick and be good.
Easy 10, 15%, bro. It's quick. But you better be ready to cut it too, though, because it can run on you in the wrong way. So, like, you got to have your hand on that trigger. But, I mean, when she call it, literally a minute or two, it's up 10, 15%, man, and you can just take it and run. And it'll keep running, man, but I'm never staying in the trade that long. Like, I'm taking 10 or 15, man. So, hey, 10 or 15% a day, keep the 9 to 5 away.
There you go. There you go. And that's it. We'll go ahead and close it down.
There you go. There you go, Quinn. There you go.
Yeah.
You know what's so crazy? When you talk to profitable or successful traders, regardless if they're full-time traders or part-time traders, you hear the same thing. They stick to their strategy, and we all just want 10 to 30%. 40 is great, 50 is great. Ain't new traders and traders that are not profitable or trying to hit them home runs because they want to show it off. They want to be like, hey, I hit 300%, I hit 200%. We don't care about that. You want to see what we hitting with 20% while you're trying to search for that 100%? It's like when I say $300 to $500 a day, all you gotta do is look at the percentages that we're talking about. 10 to 30%. So if you're able to trade with, I'm not gonna say what you have in your account, but if you're able to trade with $3,000, $300 a day, 10%, $5,000, and just keep going.
It's really,
but that's all you need to make weekly. Daily. My bad,
really
Jourdan.
Nah, you good, bro. I'm just co-signing what you're saying is, you get to that point, especially, it's like when I always talk about account management, like quit worrying about like you focusing too much on individual trade percentages and focusing more on account management. You know what I'm saying? And like, yo, I get 10% on this, I'm straight. And then you start building it up, and then you start hitting your daily or your weekly targets like that. You know what I'm saying? And then you can start saying, okay, well, look, I hit my target already. I made a little extra. Now I can go ahead and now I can not go for 100. But if it's going to let me roll, then I'm going to roll with it. Right. And that's why, like, when you're able to sit there and look at it, it hits different. Because I can stand right here all the next week and just trade SPX on the one if I felt like it. Am I going out of town this week? I'm going out of town this week. But, and so that's when you're like looking at the Heikin-Ashi candles. You're looking at those highs and lows like I covered before with a trailing stop loss. You're using candle stop losses where you might look at, I'm in calls. If I get a candle that breaks the low of the previous two candles, I'll get out because now it looks like it's flipping, right? And so you can, boom, pull out the money. I'm greedy. No cap.
What's your patience level? What's your patience level? Because I hear what y'all say that, but when you in that trade, what is your patience level on a trade? Because I hear somebody say you got to take 10% and this and that. Because I hit one trade on a video, and it came back to that level, and I sold it for 20-something. I think it was 34%. But anyway, I tried the same thing when it came back, and tried to be patient with it, and end up losing like 28%. So trying to be patient with that same trade. So I hear y'all saying in the flow of things, that sound good, but what's the patience level? When okay, to take that, because I'm trying to figure out when can I let the trade work for me and when to cut it, because I want to be like, okay, well, I can let it run against me 20%, but let me see, can that, it come back to that level, and I'm trying to be patient with it, but then it drop on me.
Listen, cut those losing trades, man. Cut them. Cut those losing trades. Like I said, Jourdan, everybody's going to speak on that, but you got to cut those losers quick. Again, a 10, 15% loss, you're going to come back from that easier. A 40, 50% loss, man, it's going to take you longer to come back from that. So
even if it comes to the level, even if it comes,
I got an answer for you, and you about to answer it for yourself. Because this would be the right question for me to ask you, even if you're asking Jourdan. You're basically asking Jourdan, hey Jourdan, what's your tolerance level? Hey Jourdan, I know that you possibly make, I'm just throwing numbers out there. Jourdan, I'm just throwing numbers out there. I know you make $100,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? I said I'm throwing numbers out there, bro. I know you make $100,000 a month. And you're this type of trader, and you're this. What is your tolerance level? That's like asking Elon Musk, hey, Elon Musk, what is your tolerance level? Because I want to follow your tolerance. You know what I'm saying? His capital is different. So my question would be, what is your tolerance level? Right?
No, it ain't that. It ain't the tolerance level. It's being
okay. That's what your question.
It's being patient with the trade.
Patient?
Even though, okay, I'm like, okay, I just hit a.
How long
I
have you?
just
No, I know what you're saying now.
I
got
hit a
confused.
trade.
How long have you been watching candles?
I've been watching it. I've been studying for about 9 months now. Okay,
9
so
months.
now I'm
All right. So look,
now I'm trying
you
to.
remember what Ava? You remember what Ava said? I'm about to answer your question. You remember what Ava said?
What she said? You got it.
No, I know. I was trying to get you to say that. So Ava, I forgot the question that she was asked, but Ava was like, it takes time. She was like, it took me a while, but until I started taking those small profits and things of that nature, that's when everything started changing for me, right? And then she said, and as long as you're watching these candlesticks, like when she was talking about her, I don't know if they were coworkers or people that were trading like on their breaks and stuff like that, they're always watching candles too, right? So they're able to see the patterns, right? So what keeps you patient within the trade is say whatever time frame you may be using. You may be using the 5-minute time frame and jumping over to the one to make sure that you want to stay in your trade, right? So you may see a pattern, a bullish pattern on the 5-minute, right? That may be, let's say, a bull flag breakout. But then once it broke out, you may go and run to the 1-minute because you hear Jourdan and I talk about it so much, just to make sure it's not oversold, or just to see if the RSI triggers something, right? So now that you go to the 1-minute, if you start seeing a head and shoulders on there, understand that pattern that you're seeing on the 1-minute belongs to the 1-minute. Is not the 5-minute. It's because all those candles that you're seeing is in conjunction to one candlestick, right? So it's basically telling you why the candle is going up and down, right? That's what those patterns on the 1-minute are showing you. These are the patterns that we're getting thrown. They're bullish and bearish, and that's why they're going up and down, right? So like with being patient comes with time. Patient comes, like being in the trade comes with time. And then it also comes with you not putting too much capital up, right? Because you may hear me say, you can trade with $5,000 and try to make $500 and you're done for the day, right? But that may be me saying that with an account size of $25,000. So if I was to lose those $5,000, I am comfortable with losing that. So it also gives me patience on my trade, right? And then when just to quote Quinn, right? When Quinn was talking about his rules that he has set in place, well, hey, as soon as I jump in a trade with Ava or Jourdan or Pastor, I'm setting a 10% stop loss, and I'm also setting a sell limit of 10%. So regardless of the fact, I'm going to get kicked out of my trade. That is giving you patience now, right? Because now let's say you have mastered that part that Quinn has mastered. Now your account is grown, right? And now you're talking to Moody and Jourdan and everybody that's talking about positioning, sizing. Now you're going to ask a question like, hey, my account has grown. Should I be sizing my positions up a little bit more? We're going to say yes, right? You're going to take more profits this time, right? But now what you're saying about patience and staying inside of the trade, now that you're actually putting up more capital and things of that nature, you can tell yourself, okay, look, I went from buying, and I'm just using contracts, right? Because the premium is going to determine how many contracts you're going to buy. But with me just using contracts, let's say I went from buying, let's say 15 contracts at a starter position, from now that I've grown my portfolio and I can size differently, to starting with 30 contracts, right? Now that I know that I'm starting with 30 contracts, I can implement another strategy within my strategy where I'm still going to take 10% or 15%, whatever the case may have been, right? But I'm going to sell put a sell limit for 15 contracts, right? So once those get hit, right, the 10%, not letting your trade go green to red, half of your position is out, right, of the market. And you took 15 contracts that had profits. Now you have 15 left on the table. What you can do now that it ran up to 10% is, oh, go ahead, Jourdan.
Hey, bro, are you getting what he's saying so far?
No, because I'm not even trying to trade for what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do right now, it ain't even about the money right now. It's about getting in a good trade and getting out, getting in and getting out, recognizing what I'm trying to do. Okay, I recognize I got in a good trade. I did everything. I say, if it get to this level here, I'm gonna buy it. Like y'all saying, I wasn't pulling the trigger, so I'm gonna pull the trigger. So what I did was I bought on a candle. I seen that it made a high low, a high low. So what I did, I'm saying I'm gonna buy this candle here. But the first blue candle I'm gonna get out. So it worked it for me. So I'm like, okay, so it dropped. So I'm like, well, dang, it came back to the level and it's consolidating, what they call consolidation. So I said, I'm gonna try this trade again. But this time I'm gonna try to just wait, I shouldn't even say that to myself. I think I just asked the question. I told myself, I'm like, I'm gonna be patient with it. It's holding the level, okay. I'm gonna see it's gonna pop. And it just kept doing that consolidation, and it dropped. And I'm trying to figure out getting that feel. I think y'all, it's just like, I think you're trying to tell me, I think you're trying to tell me it's a feel thing. That, hey man, if it ain't going,
it is. Look, what's gonna teach you, look, you helping me answer the question. I'm glad that Jourdan said I was like telling you what I was telling you, but now I understand what you're saying. You're talking about patience, right? Not even growing your account, but you want to know and you want to understand when it's testing support. This is what I got from everything you said. When it's testing support, well, I'm gonna say it like this. I got in because it was holding, I've seen the support, I got in, and I was like, you know what? Let me pull the trigger. I got in, it went up. You know, I took my profits. It came back down though to that same level. And I was thinking it was gonna go up, but it just started consolidating. So my question is, you know, for me being patient, how long is it gonna take me to understand or have a feel for when it's testing that support line and it's consolidating on it, for me to be able to tell that it breaks down or is gonna break back up? How am I able to tell that? That's what I got from it. So to be able to answer it that way, and let me know if I'm correct. Is that what you're saying? Like you're trying to be able to identify?
Because
so that's gonna take time. That's gonna take
and
time.
I heard
so
you was talking about this the other day. You were saying, yeah, when it comes to a level, and it might not get back to that level because it's like an imbalance. You were saying the imbalance level. And I saw it. I saw exactly what you said. I went back to that video, and I remember you was talking about an imbalance. You say, man, when it's doing this, it's an imbalance area. And it broke, and it came back to the level, but it made a higher low. That's what made me take the trade. So I did win.
Yeah.
But it came back to that level. Now I'm looking, it did come back to that level, but I'm thinking that it's saying once it break that level, even though it made a higher high, that candle broke that higher high. It made a lower low. So now that I'm looking at it and you talking to me, it really wasn't a good trade because they saying, I think it's called breaking structure or something, if it make a lower low or something. So I'm looking now that you're talking, but I did get that imbalance thing from you. And I seen it, and that's what made me take the trade because it made a higher high in that level. But I'm trying to be patient, and I really don't know how to be patient in these trades because, man, I took that profit so bad. When I got to 20, I didn't even know I was up 20%. All I know, I was up and I was out. And soon as I guess that greed came, I said, I'm gonna be patient with this. It came back, and man, that thing, I lost everything I wanted. Friday.
So
that's what's gonna make you be patient.
Something that helps me, and I did it last week for a minute, is on my laptop, I have a sticky note. So I have a MacBook Pro. I don't know if you can have like the sticky app on other laptops or not, but you know, I had the sticky note app. I also had sticky notes on my laptop too, like actually real. And I have my buy rules and I have my sell rules on the sticky note, right? So anything outside of those, I'm not doing it. So when I have an alert trigger on my trading view, bing, right? That's the first rule for entry. Say it's an uptrend. Say the stock has to be over 200 moving average. Bing, stock's over 200 moving average. Now I have my next rule for entry on my sticky note, and I'm waiting. Stock has to come retest support. All right, there's my support level. I can set an alert again. Let me know when the stock comes down to 350 support. Ding! All right, now it needs to make a new high above that candle that tested support. I'm waiting. All right, the candle's high was 350.72. Give me an alert for 350.73. I don't set alerts every time I'm sitting there looking at it. But then it goes ding, or it doesn't. If it doesn't, no trade. If it does, ding, all right, I'm in, right? Those are my rules. My rules have been triggered, I'm in. Now I have my stop loss rule. I have my take profit rule, and I have my trailing stop rule. Those are now in play. If anything doesn't happen with those, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. My stop loss rule is if it makes a new low compared to the entry candle, I'm out. Okay. Set an alert. That's my stop loss. My trailing stop rule, if I'm looking at candles, is if it makes a low lower than the previous 2 candles. So as we continue to move up, that low goes up, my stop loss goes up. Right. And then my last one, my take profit rule, that could be a risk to reward thing. For this strategy, I was looking at what was I doing? It was something I was doing. I had a certain rule again, whether it was the RSI hitting the number or the Bollinger Band getting hit or whatever it was, that's my rule. All right. Anything in between, I'm waiting. And then lastly, if I'm looking at the percentage, like I've talked about as well, if you're not using a price stop, having a trailing percentage stop, make sure that your green trades don't go red. Once you're up 10%, setting a sell market order, not sell market, would be a stop market order, sorry. A stop market order at that entry point means that if the option comes back down, you're out at 0%. It's going to pull you out automatically. So even if you're losing value in the consolidation while waiting for your target, you're going to get pulled out for 0%. Right? And setting those in place, you don't have to be emotionally or mentally drawn into it. Like, oh crap, what should I do? Should I wait? Should I? You have rules and systems in place that are going to help you manage your trade. You have removed your thinking out of it. You thought of the creation. You thought of the system. You thought of the rules. Now we wait. If it triggers, it triggers. If it don't, it don't. And that's it. I'm not emotions. I'm not thinking. I'm not, I hope it. I'm not, let me see if it might do this or that. These are my rules. I follow my rules. These are my rules because I know these rules will lead me to success. Am I going to win every single trade? Probably not. The other day I took 10 trades. I won 8. I lost 2. I was upset about those 2 losses. But I follow my rules. And I know that more often than not, if I follow my rules, money will follow. Did that help?
Yeah, it is. It's just really, when we in that, it take a long time to get to that area y'all at with that, that mechanical part, because when you're in the trade, and even though I wasn't really too of a wreck, I did cut it. I said, man, it ain't doing what I did learn that part. And once it broke that support, I didn't care that I cut it and it went back up, but I cut it. At least I know, because I'm learning that I don't know nobody. I'm thinking now, nobody know what the price gonna do. So that's what I'm thinking in my mind. I don't know. It could have kept going down. I just cut it, and I just did my little math and stuff with the 2 trades I did. I made $8, so I didn't lose. So, but I was just like, dang, I tried to be patient with it, and I seen it kept consolidating. I should have cut it and just reevaluate it. I should just reevaluate.
You stuck to your rules. There's don't get caught up in all that. Oh, I'm trying to control my language. There's always gonna be a hindsight, woulda, coulda, shoulda. You know, you get stopped out early and then it runs, then you're like, man, if I just didn't listen to my stop loss, I would have made money. The next trade, you don't listen to your stop loss. Now you lose all your damn money.
Yeah.
Stick to your rules. You put these rules in place to protect your account and help you grow, right? There's going to be consolidation. Dang, if I had just did this, dang, if I had just did that. Quinn, I'm sure Quinn has had, or whoever else, everybody who done it has had, dang, I took profits at 10%. They just said it's up 200%. Dang, that's crazy.
Or for example, remember the trade you called is maybe like a month or so ago. It was a SPY. It drew down 30%. I know that when I'm in your trades, I listen to your exit. I cut the trade, right? It ran crazily. So you just have to, again, but either way, again, because I had $1,000 on that trade roughly. So I'm looking at my account now, $300. If I don't want to take that $300 loss, you know what? Get out of the trade. So I trade differently with Jourdan than I do with Eva and Panda because they're scalping all the time. So if they're drawing down that much, they're probably losing that trade. So get the hell out. But Jordan's different, so you gotta sort of understand that too. But you gotta stick to your stop loss, man. Trust me, you will be better in the long run if you took that 10 or 15% loss, even if it turned around, because you can recover from that 10% loss faster than a 40% or 50%er. Trust me, I've been there.
I agree 100%. And I think another thing I'm doing wrong is I'm beginning to know, man, the trend, the stock was down. The trend was down for the day. And I don't know why I can't get my mind to stop saying, why are you looking for calls when you should be looking for puts? Even though I won and lost one, I should have been looking for puts the whole time, because the most money was in puts than it was in calls. I don't know why I don't know why as soon as I see it going down, my mind goes.
Luther.
I'll say this.
You're in a group with professionals right now.
Hey, I'm gonna say
I know
real
everybody
quick. I don't
wants
mean
to learn to do their own
Hey.
trades. Oh, I'm sorry. Who's talking? Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Quinn. Go ahead. I'm not gonna forget.
Okay. So this is something that I sort of have to force myself to do as well. I know we all want to be professional traders. We all want to make our own plays, make our own calls, but we're still learning. Well, I'm gonna speak for me. I'm still learning. So while I'm learning, why am I taking L's on stuff that I don't know and I'm not as knowledgeable yet? So guess what? Jordan's been doing this for what, 10 years? I don't know how long. Whatever, Moody, Evo, these guys are professionals. Block off time 9:30 to 11:30. Watch your phone, right? When an alert comes in, look at it, take that alert, follow your stop loss rules, follow your take profit rules. Trust me, brother, they will be more successful than you will be. I'm 80% with these guys. I'm like 45% on my plays. So you know what? Yeah. I'm gonna chill on my plays, or I'm gonna go small position size. So if I take a 20% loss, I'm losing $20 rather than 150 or 200 with them. So but they're 80%, 85.
I agree with everybody. I was gonna say, and I think we talked about this last weekend when Jourdan had his class and he was going through the 9 to 5. You know, part of that, you know, every time we talk, I pick up jewels from everybody. And so one of the things was, and at least for me, it's worked well for me in the past and past career, it works well for me now, is not trying to strategy that A, you're not familiar with, or B, the instrument doesn't match the strategy. So it's knowing what instrument you're trading, what type of market you're trading in, and then what the strategy is before you do anything. Because if you're trading options for scalping when you should be trading futures, you're gonna lose. If you're trading stocks with a swing trade size appropriately, no matter what you do, you're gonna lose. So it's about picking the right instrument, the right strategy, and then understanding the market in which those things work before you do anything.
And also, I was gonna add, you're doing a lot of research, bro, and you're doing a lot of like reevaluation with yourself and like just trying to figure it all out. One thing that I would say is, sometimes we can have information overload, right? Because the only thing I was gonna say is you're trying to gain more patience, and you know, like Jourdan was answering that, I was answering that, and it went right back to rules. As many rules that you put on yourself is gonna give you patience, is gonna help you not do dumb things, but also knowing candlesticks, right? In due time, as long as you continue to watch them, you will start to identify with these patterns and see them, right? But don't ever tell yourself that last little thing that you told yourself, like, man, you did good. You sold too early, you took some money. You know what I'm saying? It came back down and it went the opposite direction. So you didn't lose no money, right? So you did something good, but now you're gonna psych yourself out by telling yourself, man, I should have never been looking for calls. Mind you, you made money on calls. I should have never been looking for calls, man. I don't care about them little $7 I made a contract. I should have never been looking for calls because I should have been looking for puts. There was more money in puts. Bro, do you understand that these rich people will put money in puts and calls and confuse you and then rob you and lose 100 million and make $1 billion? So it's always price action. It's always the candles. And that's why I was saying, like, You did it good, bro. You read the candlesticks. You said, oh, my bad. You read the candlesticks and it went up. It went from support all the way to resistance or whatever. You took your profits, it came back down. That was a good trade, right? But now if you psych yourself saying, man, but flow algo or this had way more volume or put calls, put buys, right? Then you're gonna psych yourself out just thinking, well, you know what? I didn't do a good job. I'm gonna go look at these puts. Whatever the puts tell me, or whatever these call volume tell me is what I'm gonna do. Now you did it the right way. You read the candlestick and you killed it.
But Moody, what I'm picking up is I'm thinking that the candles are doing the same thing as it going up. And I noticed what I bought was really called a pullback. Even though I did see everything, but it really was a pullback to a lower high that went. See, what I'm thinking it is that I'm trying to put the picture together all at once and see, okay, I'm trying to put the whole picture together, everything at one time, and it's not clicking to after the fact. But it's like, if it's going down and it shoots up a little bit, and it goes back down, it really just made a lower high. So the trend was down. So I should have been, I know I won on the trade, but I should have been looking for where the trend was heading, because I'm recognizing that it's going up, but I should have been looking and saying, okay, is this a pullback or this is a trend reversal? And I see even though I made money, I'm looking now, the volume was so low going back up, and it still went down. So I'm just trying to figure it all out. I hear, somebody said the trend is your friend.
The trend is your friend. So I'll say this, when you're talking about, right? So think about the instrument, going back to the instrument. Let's say, we start with going back to Jordan's comment about rules and taking things methodically, right? So you go into the day, it's like 9:30, you're like, okay, well, I'm not gonna scalp because that's not my strategy. That's not what I'm comfortable with. That's not what I'm good at. I'm going to day trade. I'm gonna get into a trade for 3 minutes to 5 minutes to 10 minutes or longer, maybe the whole day, whatever, see how it plays out. So that's what I'm gonna do today. Then you identify the trend, right? And with options, a call is similar to, if it's directional and you buy a call, you're expecting the price to go up. So if it's an uptrend and you're buying a call, that's the instrument you're using to take advantage of that. If expecting the direction to be bearish or go down, then you're buying a put for that purpose, because it's like shorting the stock. So a call is like buying a stock, buying a put, even though you're making a purchase, it's like shorting a stock with the expectation that it's going to go down. And so, with this particular Discord, it's not a lot of selling options on here, so I'm not going to get into all that, but just understanding, like, okay, if I take a call, that means it's equivalent to me buying 100 shares of a stock with the expectation that the price is going to go up. Only time you would do that is if you think that the trend is going up or it's a breakout to the upside. So that's when you want to do that. On the flip side, if you expect it's going to be a collapse or a sell-off to the downside, you're going to break through support and then you want to sell the stock or you want to short the stock, then the put is what you buy because it's equivalent to selling 100 shares of a stock. So that's how you want to think about it. When the price, Jordan just said, don't fight the trend, hug the trend. Yes, if the stock is going down, buy puts. That's equivalent to shorting 100 shares of the stock. If the price is going up, it's breaking out, then buy calls. That's equivalent to buying 100 shares of that stock.
Yeah, my thing is that my grandma used to tell me so when I was younger. She say, if you go somewhere and there's a bunch of people, the first thing you need to put in your mind is what's going on in the room. And I'm trying to apply that to this stock thing, because even though I made that trade talking to Boot, I'm realizing I still didn't know what was going on in the room, even though I won in the trade, because I'm trying to put it all together and I understand how y'all do it, but I know Jourdan. I'm looking at Jourdan trades, and I go back after the fact. I'm saying, man, he's seeing the whole picture, and it's hard for me to. I guess the lady said it best. You just got to just take time. But when you see that whole picture, man, it just be like clear, and I cannot get that whole picture. And I seen Moody doing it the other day. I'm like, how is he seeing his whole picture? Like, just like literally seeing a clear picture. Where when I'm talking about, I ain't talking about in hindsight. I'm talking about when you're in that fight, and when the stock is going deep on, it's in the fire. I want to learn. I want to learn like that. I don't care, and I understand what the young man was saying. Yeah, follow somebody, but man, I got to understand it. I got to. If I don't understand it, even if I win, I still won't feel good because I want to understand the full picture. And I know somebody understand what I'm saying. I want to understand that full picture. Like, man, you see that? He understanding the picture.
You getting it, and the thing I can hear from you talking is you identifying these levels. It's just getting comfortable with, let's say, if you notice a uptrend and then you see a pullback where you just kind of identify it and you noticing these things, you're using the right words. You're like, okay, well, that's a pullback, but why did it pull back? Did it hit some sort of resistance level? Is that just the initial pullback? And then do I take that as a pullback and a retest on the second level for support, and then after it goes through that, the second closing candle above that resistance level, now or trade, and then put my stop loss at that pullback level, and then try to shoot for a target above that resistance level. So
it ain't even that. It ain't even that. I know Jourdan. I know Jourdan what I'm talking about. It's like I'm looking at this candle, and it's going.
Hey, look. I got you. I'm gonna give you that answer. I'm gonna give you the answer you're looking for, Luther. Just hearing you, bro, like I just sat back and I was like, bro, this is the same guy. A week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. You're gonna be fired, bro. You're gonna be fired. You know why? Because you care so much. Whatever you care about, you gonna find out. You gonna find out.
Man, I done stopped my business, boy. I've been trying to get this.
And then Lauren said something very important. I also agree with her. You're being way too hard on yourself, bro. Way too hard on yourself, right? You're gonna get it because you care about it so much. I hope this doesn't mess like your trading up, but don't trade it right now. But bro, just pull up the 1 minute. Even like right now, pull up BTC USD. Just pull up the 1 minute and just keep it up, right? The reason I'm saying that is because you want to learn in the fire. You want to know, like, oh, this is what's going on.
I made the trade off the 1 minute. That's how I want. But I should have been. What I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to recognize if the volume really wasn't. How would you? I should have been looking at. Okay, I'm in a trade, but I got out. I felt it was going to stop, but I want to know why you weren't looking at the volume at the same time. The volume is telling you to get out, even though I got out. And then I seen when it failed, the volume was real low. So I know I shouldn't. I'm just trying to put it all together, but I did get in that trade on the 1 minute. I ain't gonna lie.
This is being recorded, so maybe when we look back, you'll see, dude, you're killing it with your understanding though. Like you don't see it, but like I can see it. You're like, oh, well, the volume was a little weak on this up move, so maybe it wasn't a strong up move, so maybe I'll wait on the pullback. So like you just literally communicated that. So like you're learning, and yeah. I mean I'm with Moody. Don't be too hard on yourself. Like you just communicated what was happening, even though like you understand it, but like you do because you just said it. And so that's awesome, man.
But with Jourdan,
you right there, bro. You're about to make it, bro. You're literally right there. It's because look, listen to what he's saying. Sometimes just take a deep breath. Don't try to respond to what I'm saying. Just listen. You're there, bro. The reason why is because you can talk about every single one of your trades and know why you took that trade, why you shouldn't have took that trade, how he's talking about how it's losing volume and all of that. The thing is, you just need to be calm when you're seeing it all. So you could be able to literally see it like, oh, okay, don't trade. don't trade because you understand it. So you're going to see it. When you're not trading, you're going to be like, damn, I should take this call right here, man. And then you know what's going to happen? It's going to go boom, 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 go crazy. You're going to be like, dang, I knew I should have took it. I was right. Yup. I'm almost ready. Let me see if I could just switch over to puts. I'll short right here. You know what I'm saying? And that's called mentally trading. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you have to do.
I'm gonna mute everybody so I can talk. Get that mute. Shoot, man. All right. Dang it. We got on this Zoom talking about it was gonna be a quick 30-minute. Y'all, you know how everybody do, man. We always end up having these. It's all helpful though. So I'm glad, I'm glad we're not talking about the Buffalo Bills or something, but we're talking about building. But I do get what you're saying, Luther, because one of the mentees that I have with this mentorship, when we have our one-on-ones, that's literally what he tells me. He's like, hey, bro, I want you to just walk me through what you saw today, step by step. And we've had like 3 sessions where we literally go through the whole day on QQQ or SPY, whatever I traded, just on the 1 minute. And I'm watching it. We're replaying it in TradingView. I'm like, boom, candle, candle, candle. See, so I put the trend line here because of this. That makes sense? You're like, yeah, okay. Boom. This support, boom, hammer, boom. Close over support, boom. Shoots up, boom. Retest, pop. All right. So what I think you could do, just for the sake of us not going in circles around one topic repeatedly, is go look at my past live tradings, because I've recorded my live trading, which is in the fire, right? So it's live, me talking about what I'm seeing live, me showing stuff live. So look at that in the recorded sessions on the Discord. Pastor Prince goes live 3 times a week. So if you can make those lives, hop on those lives. What Moody said was absolutely right. Pull up the crypto charts even after hours so you can test it all out. Paper trade, like somebody else was mentioning in the chat. You can paper trade, right? You can paper trade just to get more familiar with what you're seeing, and build that confidence. What I do instead of actually going through a paper trade platform is I'll just use the measurement tools on TradingView, and I'll measure out my entry. Here's my stop loss, here's my target, and I'll look at that and see how it plays out while I have my rules on this sticky note. I'm sticking to these rules, seeing how it plays out. These rules are based off of my knowledge and what I've determined might be a successful strategy. You have knowledge because you're over there marking up charts. So you know what you're looking at, right? And then the last thing, to go back to what Quinn was saying, Quinn wasn't saying don't learn or don't seek to learn for yourself, because that's definitely what you should do. And that's why we have all these Zoom calls and all these classes, is because we want you to learn, right? Nobody in this Discord, I don't think, is like, hey, don't learn, right? He's not saying don't learn. He's saying while you're in your learning phase, there's people in the group who are leading you to money. Get in line with those people. And while you're learning, take Jordan's trades and make you some money. Take Eva's trades and make you some money while you're learning. Still take your own trades with smaller positions because you're still figuring it out. The moderators, they got it figured out. You look at their channels, you see the win rates, you see the gains, they got it figured out, right? So while you're figuring out your piece, follow the folks so you can keep getting your bag while you're figuring it out. And if you lose some over here, you made it back over here, right? And then you can just go ahead and replace it and you can keep going, right? So I'm gonna pass because I got 3 Zooms tonight. So I'm gonna give somebody who I'm gonna give host to DC this time. I usually give it to Moody. I'm gonna give host to DC. I'm gonna hop off because I got 3 Zooms tonight, like I said, so I need to go. I'm gonna let everybody go back to being able to unmute. But you're good, bro. Don't beat yourself up. It's a learning process. Like they said in the chat too, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, we couldn't even get you to take a trade. All of our Zooms the past 2 months was you talking about, I see it, but I'm not taking a trade. I'm not taking a trade. We had 5 or 6 Zooms where we were just like, yo, just trade it, bro. Don't come back on Zoom I told you I was gonna kick you out the group if you ain't take no damn trade. Like, right? I can't hear you because you're muted. I don't know if you're talking to me or not. But look at your progress. Now you're taking trades, you're winning trades, even in you're trying to understand them, right? But that's the step. You can't skip from level 0 to level 100. There are levels in the process. You can't go from the ground floor to the top floor, even if you take the elevator up, right? And that's what you're doing, being on the Zooms, following the trades, studying, learning. You're taking the elevator, but the elevator still got to go up the levels to get to the level you want to get to, bro. So I'm done. DC's the host. I'm gonna let y'all unmute. Oh, I can't do it. He has to let y'all unmute now because I'm not the host anymore. So I can't even do that.
All right. For the
Peace out,
everybody. What button is that? For everybody.
Like, why you make me host, bro?
And this is good. We're all learning together.
I think they can unmute. I can unmute. They can unmute.
That's
Okay.
I let you unmute before. I just took host back. 1 second.
Okay. Yeah. I was looking for the button, and I think I might have found it, but I think we should be all good.
Sorry, I'm gonna stop the recording.